The God Splash. Not too long ago, the God Splash was very much an essential part of the Hypixel Skyblock experience. They first began as a way for players to surpass the dreaded 3 potion limit, but before long, they became intertwined into every aspect of the game. Slayers, Zealot grinding, skill grinding, most of the player base wouldn't touch any of them without a God Splash. Nearly all the well-known and respected guilds would even charge their members just so that they could host splashes every 1 to 2 hours. Some clever players even began brewing splashes as a money-making method, charging other random players 100,000 coins just for entry. But everything changed when the admins attacked. On September 8th, 2020, the Hypixel Skyblock Community Center update was released. Known colloquially as the pay-to-win update, this patch introduced the booster cookie into the game mode, allowing players to use IRL money to purchase a variety of in-game advantages. Among these advantages was the God Potion. Costing a measly 2,000 bits, this item would provide the user with every max potion effect in Skyblock. In an instant, the God Splash had become entirely useless to nearly every player, except for me. You see, I run my profile as hard mode, meaning I'm unable to use the auction house, the bazaar, or even trade with any other players. A consequence of this playstyle is that bits, the currency used to purchase the God Potion, are completely unavailable to me. So today, I am going to do the unthinkable. I am going to brew a one-man God Splash. What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Hypixel Skyblock Hardmode series. And yes, as I have stated in the intro, today we're going to be doing something a little bit crazy and attempting to brew a one-man God Splash. Now, first off, I need to kind of say that the term God Splash is going to be used a little bit leniently here. I'm not going to actually make splash potions. I'm going to make them drinkable because, as stupid as this already is, making splash potions for one singular person would make it even more stupid. Now, that being said, I'm assuming the question that a lot of you guys are probably asking right about now is, why? Like, why would I do this? What is the point of wasting my time and resources and everything else just to get a one-man God Splash? And I have 3 main reasons for wanting to do this. The first of these reasons is Mayor Aatrox. With Mayor Aatrox, he has brought slashed pricing where Slayer quests are half price and a Slayer XP buff where you get 25% more Slayer XP. So, because of these perks, I want to do some more Slayers, which I can do them without a God Splash, but honestly, the whole experience would just be much more enjoyable with a God Splash. Now, another reason for me wanting to get some one-man God Splashes going is Zealot grinding. So as you guys know, pretty much every episode of this series, I grind up at least 3 summoning eyes through Zealots, and we use them to spawn a dragon for the end of the episode. Now, usually my setup just consists of 3/4 young dragon armor and these farmer boots, and my speed you'll see here usually sits around like 330, 340, which is fine. I mean, it gets the job done, but I will be honest, it does make it a little bit difficult to compete with the players who are going at like 500 max speed, you know, just flying around the map. So if I could be using a God Splash to also hit the max speed, it would be very nice. And the final and most petty reason that I want to brew a God Splash is simply for my pride. Because you see, any episode where I do any sort of damage test, I always get roasted in the comments for, well, my very low damage. A lot of times I'll get comments from people saying they have a way worse setup than me or way worse stats than me, and yet they do a lot more damage, and, you know, they basically just roast me. And my theory is that these people are doing more damage than me because they're always on these 24-hour like max God potions. So hopefully today I will be able to come back down here to the crypts where I'm always testing my damage, and these numbers will be a lot larger. Now, it is totally possible that this plan is going to completely backfire on me, and I'm going to come to these crypts and still not be doing very much damage, in which case, you know, at least we have the other 2 objectives. So basically, guys, this whole plan began about a week, maybe even like 2 weeks ago now, where I actually showed in an episode, I went to the dark auction and bought this epic turtle pet, but I also bought this epic parrot pet. And now the reason this epic parrot pet is a key part of this plan is because of its second perk, where it boosts potion durations by a certain percentage. Which, boosting the duration of the potions is obviously a huge part of a God Splash, because if I'm going to put in all this effort to make it, I don't want it to last for like 45 minutes. Now, clearly the problem I'm facing is that my parrot pet is level 1, so the percentage boost right now is super low. Thankfully, the parrot pet is an alchemy pet, and if you guys will remember like 10 or maybe even 20 episodes back at this point, I abused my very nice 2-layer sugarcane farm here to level up this legendary sheep pet very, very fast. And so, of course, for this parrot pet, I have a very similar plan. I'm simply going to sit here and farm a bunch of sugarcane, craft it into enchanted sugarcane eventually once I get enough, and then brew some potions, and hopefully it'll level up my parrot pet to at least like level 50 or 60. So yeah, let's get farming. Okay, so got 20 enchanted sugarcane. I think this should get it to a pretty decent level considering it's only an epic rarity and not a legendary. But now all that's left is to start brewing and level this thing up, so let's do it. Oh wait, and shoot, I was actually about to make a huge mistake by taking out this first batch because I want to use an alchemy boost potion, and yes, I already have a alchemy boost 3 potion that will last for 44 minutes. Wait, I was actually forgetting about a ton of things. I can also come to Zog here and put the all skills XP boost on this parrot pet so that it gets 10% more XP from all the potions. So first batch of potions here is going to get it straight to level 33. Holy crap. Now, obviously, these first couple levels are much easier to get than the later ones, but still, 33 levels from just one of my 20 enchanted sugarcane. All right, and of course, I'm not going to bore you guys with me doing this 19 more times, so I'll just cut to when I'm all done. All right, and now for the final potion collection, and the parrot pet ends at level 66. That's honestly pretty crazy considering that was only from like an hour of farming cane, but now I'm boosting potion duration by 28.1% with it. Much better than that 5% that it initially was. And now it is finally time to get to the part of actually making and using the God Splash. And thankfully I had been preparing for this by putting up some glowstone and redstone minions maybe a week ago or so. So I have a lot of redstone, I have a lot of glowstone, which is an essential part of making this God Splash actually, well, like worth having. So yeah, now I just need to go ahead and round up all the materials for the potions I want to include in this God Splash, get my redstone lamps and redstone blocks ready to go, and then it'll be time for the God Splash. Okay, and I finally have everything set up and ready to go, guys. Oh my god, was this a process though. So first off, I had to go to the hub and get all of these like custom brew things at the bartender, like the decent coffees, knockoff colas, Slayer energy drinks. Then it turns out that adrenaline potions require an enchanted cookie, so I had to go ahead and farm 2 stacks of enchanted cocoa beans. Thankfully, I still have my replenish axe and that massive cocoa bean farm, so that also wasn't a super hard process. Then the enchanted cake here has like the weirdest recipe ever, so I had to go to the hub and like milk some cows to make this. Then for the speed pot, turns out I needed another enchanted sugarcane, so I had to go back to my sugarcane farm and farm some more. And then after all of that, it turned out I was a little bit short on enchanted redstone to craft the enchanted redstone lamps, so I had to head over to the redstone mines and farm 40 enchanted redstone, and finally that brings us to where we are now. And also for the record, I know using enchanted glowstone is not as efficient as using enchanted redstone lamps, but the reason I'm using some enchanted glowstone is because I was way shorter on redstone than I was on glowstone, so this is just the best way I could make it work. On top of that, I'm also not going to be maxing out all 3 of the potions I brew. I'm just going to be trying to get 1 of each maxed out potion in order to have just the 1 God Splash for now. And the last thing is that my strength potion actually will not be the highest level it can be because I have to use enchanted blaze powder because I don't have an enchanted blaze rod, and there is no way I'll be able to get one anytime soon because they are very pricey. But yeah, now it's finally time to get brewing. And there we have it, a 10-pot God Splash. I have Rabbit 6, Adrenaline 8, Agility 4, Strength 6, Speed 8, Critical 4, Magic Find 4, Dodge 4, Spirit 4, and True Resistance 4. And again, I know there are a couple like potions that would typically be in like the traditional God Splash. I just decided though it wasn't worth it for me to try and get a bunch more resources for like some potions like haste or something that really aren't going to help me out anyway. So I'm going to head over to the Crypticals area right now so that as soon as I drink them, I can compare my damage. And then once I'm done with the test, I can head over to the Howling Caves and do some spends for a little bit. So once again, just for reference here, I'm doing about 66,000 to Crypticals before the potions. So now let me just double check, make sure the parrot pet is on, and I'm gonna go ahead and chug these potions. Here we go. All my effects are now active, and I have them each for about an hour and 20 minutes. So let's make good use of this. First off though, the damage test, is it gonna be a lot more? 70, only 10k? Oh my god, okay, well this part of everything might have backfired here. 76k? 72k? What the heck? It really did not increase my damage at all. Okay, 83k, that one's a little bit better there. 86k, all right, it's getting better, it's getting better. 73, it's back down to pretty bad. 84k, 90k, all right, it's definitely better. And keep in mind, I still don't have the maxed out strength potion. I think max is strength 8 and I have strength 6. So not like maybe as big of an increase as I was initially expecting, but hey, you know, still like 15, 20k. I guess it's something. But yeah, now I'm probably really gonna get roasted for my low damage. All right, anyways, I'm over at the Howling Caves here now. I'm gonna get to work on grinding some Sven 4s for like the next hour or so while I still have this God Splash. And yeah, I guess I'll let you guys know if I get lucky at all. Are you kidding me? I just lagged and it got rid of the potion effects because I must have died. I think I'm missing money in my purse too. Oh my god. That cannot be real. I mean, I think I only had like 30 minutes left of the potion, so I at least got to use the majority of them. But after all of that, for the god potions, I lag and lose the effects. Jesus, dude. All right, well, that was like literally the worst thing that could have possibly happened. But I guess now it's time for me to move on to farming zealots for the dragon for today's episode. Which originally my plan was to make like some maxed out speed potions in order to effectively farm the zealots. But as I mentioned, I literally had to use all my redstone just to make that last splash. So I'm gonna be making like some kind of scuffed ones. Hopefully this will be enough to get me to 500. I might have to end up messing around with like a pet or something to get a little bit closer though. But let's see. So starting off, I'm at 305 speed, and that puts me at 459 speed. Oh, and I'm still missing a rabbit potion, so that'll get me to 500. And there we go. I'm now looking at 500 speed, so at least one part of this whole operation was successful. Now, what it'll be interesting to see is if I feel like I'm able to farm the zealots a lot better than when I was going at like 350 speed or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start grinding. All right, guys, so I got my 3 summoning eyes here, but before I hop into a dragon party, I have to say that the 500 speed worked out very, very nicely. The reason that's funny though is because obviously the way I got to 500 speed was not with the God Splash, it was just by making like some semi-max potions. So in the episode of Hypixel Skyblock Hardmode that was totally dedicated to the idea of a God Splash, I think the main thing and the main lesson learned is that the God Splash is kind of useless for me. In fact, I'm much, much better served just making like some moderately decent potions and going with those. Spending all the time and resources to max out potions turned out to be a pretty big waste. So yeah, with that being said, I'm going to hop into a dragon party, and the potions I'm going to use during the dragon fight will not be maxed out versions. They'll just be, you know, some average potions because maxed out potions apparently aren't worth it. Alright boys, here we go, another episodic dragon. I'm honestly getting like so desensitized to dragons at this point. Like early on in the series, every single dragon was super, super exciting, but I'm just so used to them nowadays. Old dragon, oh my god, that is such an oof. One of these days, Skyblock is gonna have to give me another superior dragon. I don't know when it's gonna be, but it has to happen sometime, right? And once again, I'm honestly much more focused on trying to get crystal fragments than anything else. So seems like a pretty typical dragon fight for me these days. But you know guys, one thing I have definitely noticed ever since I have stopped accepting sweats into my dragon parties is that these fights take a lot longer. Before I was dealing with like some 30-second dragon fights sometimes. Now it's more like a couple minutes at the very least. So that's kind of nice for me. All right, and finally the dragon has died. Hey, ended up in first place with 5.6 mil damage. I like to see that. Oh, and we got a dragon claw. Yes, that is literally perfect. Like anything else I could have gotten from this old dragon would have been useless, man. But a dragon claw, the fabled reforge. Oh my god. I'm sorry, you guys probably don't think that this is even anything that hype, but honestly, for me, I mean, like, these things are not that easy to come by. Wow, I'm honestly super, super shocked, man. Maybe placing 3 eyes is just a move. Let's go. I feel like ever since we started placing 3 eyes, my luck has just, like, totally made a turnaround. We started getting some dragon pieces I actually needed, like the wise dragon helmet. Now we're getting dragon claws for the fabled reforge. I'm hyped about it. Anyways, though, that's where I'm gonna go ahead and end off today's episode. So hopefully you did enjoy it. If there is only one thing you take away from this episode, make sure that it's if you run an Iron Man profile, a God Splash is not worth it. Don't do it. Don't waste your time. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys once again for watching. I will see you in the next one, hopefully by about 2 to 3 days from now. So yeah, see you guys then. Peace.